This is the Lockpicker 1969, and welcome to my channel, and welcome to the next episode of Interview with the Lockpicker. Today's guest is Mounta1nM1ck. Say hi.
Hello,
So, where are you from?
I am from Wilkesboro, North Carolina, originally, the mountains part in the northwest of North Carolina.
Have you lived there your entire life?
I have not. I've spent about the last probably half of my life in and out of West Palm Beach, Florida, where my mom is from, that area. So I've been back and forth most of my life, but I am in North Carolina at the moment.
Okay. So, what does your name mean?
Mountain Mick. Well, I'm born in the mountain area of North Carolina, so that's where the mountain comes from. And my last name is really Higgins. My name's actually Craig Higgins. It's a Irish name, and that makes my whole family Irish. So Mick is kind of a tongue-in-cheek type of reference to my people. And the ones that are in for the eyes make up an 11. My birthday is November 11th, Veterans Day of 1986. So I just
Oh,
wanted to
wow.
sneak an 11. Just wanted to sneak an 11 in there.
Awesome. All right. So, how did you get into lock sport?
Well, lock sport initially was something that I kind of fell in love with watching some movies like Gone in 60 Seconds. I recently mentioned that because there's been a lot of questions lately in the lock sport community about references in movies and video games, and I came to realize that probably around the age of 10 to 12 sometime, Gone in 60 Seconds and some other heist movies really caught my interest. And I went into being a mechanic and wanting to pick locks because of that. So I did go on to become a mechanic. We'll talk about that, I guess. And lock sport kind of sparked for me then. I tried to get some tools around that time, but not much existed back then. It was a lot harder to get tools. I think probably Southord, Peterson, maybe Sparrows, and Multi-Pick were the only people I could find, and they basically were only internet presences, very small and hard to get a hold of if you weren't a locksmith. So, being not even a grown adult, it was a little harder for me to get a hold of tools at the time. I think I ordered a pick pen that got canceled or something and never got it. Took me years until recently to actually get around to getting some tools. But I spent many years in between still dabbling with the idea and watching some YouTube lock sporters that started to come up. And one day recently I decided to start. So that's kind of how it led me to here.
So, what was the moment or the event that occurred that really got you to dive into lock sport?
Um, well, I was working for Honda. I work on cars and motorcycles. And I kind of had lost my job with them because they had a lot of turnover there. Right around the time my benefits were supposed to happen and my raise was supposed to happen, they decided to let me go.
How
So,
convenient.
yeah, it happens. Corporate world can be mean and nasty in the garage life. That's why we always say, as a joke, that's why toolboxes have wheels on them. so,
As they
so
should.
I Yes, they should because of many good reasons, and that's one of them. So, unfortunately, I did love it there. It was a bit of a dream job for me driving motorcycles all day and working on them. I've done it before in Florida, and it really re-sparked my passion to work on things, getting into motorcycles because I'd had a little lull of years of car work, and it took bikes to get me back into wrenching a little bit. So I was sad about losing my job there. I was trying to get my wife moved up to North Carolina, but because of the way everything worked out, we we decided basically that things were going better for her and my housing situation here wasn't getting any better, so it was time for me to make a return trip to Florida that I'm basically scheduling now. But losing my job, I needed something for the meantime to keep my mind and hands busy and sharp.
Mm-hmm.
And so I bought some more tools. I had saved some money, and instead of using the money for stupid things or having to spend it all on just life, I decided to reinvest a bunch in myself in the
Good.
future. So I bought a bunch of mechanics tools for the future. So when I get to Florida, I can go back to a good garage. I didn't have many tools when I came to Honda, so it was nice to rebuild my basic collection.
Yeah.
And towards the end of having the money there, I decided, you know what? I've been tool shopping around. Let's see. I saw a Sparrows advertisement on my Facebook one day, and it all just seemed to make sense. So I was like, you know what? Let's go down this rabbit hole. Maybe it'll give me a little hobby to play around with until
Mm-hmm.
I get back to Florida. And that's what kind of led me to this.
Oh boy, did it. So
It is. I fell down the rabbit hole deep, and it goes deeper in many directions, and
yeah.
I'm loving it.
So what did you wind up with from Sparrows first?
My first set was actually just a basic set. I had found a Reddit post. I cruised the internet like a lot of people do, and I found a post from a guy named John Locke. He's a lock
Yep.
sporter.
Yep.
Um, he had a list that he had made a while back to tell new people how to build a basic Sparrows kit for lock sport instead of spending your money on a big kit full of things that might not be as useful for a lock sporter. So, since my aim was to maybe later do some locksmithing, but to start out in lock sport, I found out quickly that single pin picking was going to be the main name of the game. So, I started out with the hookers set, the SSD set,
Mm-hmm.
which is about 4 picks in the hooker set,
Yeah.
3 in the SSD,
Yep.
and then I added a monkey paw to it. So 8 picks, and then I got the Turner's one, the flat bars, and the flat knurled heavy, and that gave me all my turners to start.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got a comp case to get it all in. A lot of people still see me use that. It's one of those fold back cases that turns into like a desk prop.
Like a
So
stand. Yeah.
yeah, it's nice. It's a nice handy thing to keep them
Yep.
in. So I recently got it back down to just that stuff in that case. I did some reorganizing because I've had some growth, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But that was my first set. And I branched out a little after that when I got to Greenbelt because I needed to get some thinner picks for this Avis lock that I had. So then I got some
Ah, okay.
Jimmy Longs. Then I got some Jimmy Longs.
Go,
I
Jimmy.
got the Jim. Yeah, I love Jimmy. I got the Jim hooks in 19 and 15 to give me all 3 sizes. I already had 25s in all my Sparrows, so it was a good supplement to my starter kit. A nice way to try another brand out, and they have still served me well. I love Jimmy Longs.
Yes.
He's a great supporter of the community, great guy. I've got to know him a little since,
Yep.
and he's doing some great things in the community. So
He's awesome.
definitely definitely got to mention Jimmy. He's a folk hero of lock sport, man.
It's one of the interviews I've done not I guess in the past now, but got to know a lot about how he got his start. So definitely an interview worth going back and
Yeah,
listening to.
yeah. I was definitely into his start very
Yeah.
much. He glosses over it a little bit on the website,
Yep.
but I'd love to hear more in depth because there's a lot that went into those picks being made, and you can tell when you use them.
Yep.
They're definitely made with skill and with love.
Oh
So,
yeah, a lot of research, tons of research. Yeah, if you get
oh
it,
yeah,
if you go back and listen to his interview and he explains everything that he did, it's really incredible that he
I
put
definitely will have to check that one
he
out.
put all of that into everything he did, and he really
That fine element analysis that he does with
yes,
the Christina Palmer stuff, dude, that you
yep,
can tell when you touch the pick, the feedback is next level. It really is.
yep.
I
So
was actually scared. I was actually scared a little bit the first time I used one because of how much new feedback I was feeling. I thought I was picking Warden. Thought I was picking Warden and breaking picks, and it was just really that sensitive. I love them.
yeah,
They're built like tanks, though. You're not going to hurt them.
so A lot of people, when they get into lock sport, they face challenges along the way. What were some of your challenges that you faced in learning lockpicking?
Well, I think because of my actual nature of tinkering and messing with cars, I had a pretty good natural start and basis with my hands and hand-eye coordination. So it came a little easy to me at first, which is good because getting enthusiastic, and getting those early opens is good for any lock sporter. So I actually made it to green belt by about 5 weeks in, which I'm sure people go quicker. There's no world record going on
Mm-mm.
there, but
It's not a
I'm sure
race.
other people. Exactly. It's all individual, and I'm sure other people take longer because, simply put, I had a ton of time sitting around with no job and nothing to do. So, if I had been busy doing those things, it definitely would have multiplied the time exponentially that it
Mm.
took me. So, I don't want anyone to think that I was only spending 30 minutes or so a day during that 5 weeks. I was literally spending 8 to 10 hours a day picking and reading and sometimes more. So 5 weeks sounds like a short time, but believe me when I say it was a full on cram session for me.
Yep.
But anyway, when I got to Greenbelt, that's when I hit the first real skill wall for myself. When more high security pins began to be in the puzzle, and that's the way I like to look at it, is like a 3D puzzle.
Yep. It
And
is.
when more high security started being involved with the pins and with serrated drivers and stuff, um, the A1100, I guess, I was able to pick it and the Ace 38 millimeter, both of them within the first day I had them, but I couldn't repeat the opens like I used to be able to with the
Gotcha.
lower level locks.
Yep.
And I noticed very quickly that I was going to need to spend way more time at Green, which I'm still at Green now. It's been 3.5 months, and I'm literally just now moments away. Once I open one of these 200K pack locks, I will be blue belted by the end of the year. That's what I'm focused on now. And once these open, I will be very happy. But that has been the hardest lock for me thus far. The Blue Belt Packlock 98 Pro and
Mm-hmm.
PL 410 Pro,
Yep.
they are well made 7 pin nightmares for
Yeah,
me.
they
So
are. Yep.
I really
Definitely.
enjoy it, but the crunchiness is new to me, and I'm still trying to adapt to not feeling like I'm snapping a pick and keeping tension light on them while I try to set those things. And yeah, I would definitely say that from green to blue was definitely where I found myself needing to slow down and go back. And that's what I did. I had really raced ahead early, and that's good. I advise people to get to orange and green as quickly as possible for that reason. But once you do, you should be ready to downshift and spend some time there on each belt. And what I did was I went back. I met a really cool guy that is in Florida. His name's Skip Hambrook, and Skip has been helping me as a mentor a bit. He's a great guy, and anyway, we sparked a friendship talking about lock sport and him helping me with the theory a little. And he sent me this book, Practical Lock Picking by Deviant Allum, and
Yep.
that really opened my eyes to some things that I missed. So I got a good practice lock, Mark Slimline Euro that was grub screwed. I had already tried progressive pinning on my 1100, and it wasn't going great for me. And when I got a grub screwed lock, and Skip sent me some of those Sparrows chest pins and reload kit pins,
Yep.
and I started swapping them out, just doing 1 and 2 and 3 pin stacks at a time, really learning my way through what it feels like to set a spool and what the turner does,
Yep.
and just going back to just the basic, Karate Kid, wax on, wax off of it all, and Skip really helped me rediscover the basics and start to try and move forward more deliberately with my picking, to kind of slow it back down and be focused on not racing my way through the lock or trying to bully it all the
Mm-hmm.
time, but
Yeah.
really getting back getting back to light tension and slowly lifting to shear and using the jiggle test, of course,
Yep.
and more so the turner. I've learned so much that the jiggle test is crucial when you're talking about learning the pick and the feedback from the pick, but it's not going to fall in place until you pair the turner with it. The turner, I feel like the turner is telling you 75% of what's going on. So you got to learn to listen to
Yeah.
the counter rotation and all of that. And that really is what helped me there was going back, reading some more literature, getting a foundation from one expert point of view, not an amalgamation of internet opinions. And I'm not saying I'm not happy that Reddit LPU exists. I wouldn't be here without it. So I'm a big fan of LPU and those guys.
Well,
I'm just trying to say I would always recommend doubling back for some reading and literature and some good visual learning if you need that as well. It's got a lot of great pictures in the book,
yes,
and
the
just
Deviant Olem book you're talking about, I think a lot of people have that in their library. But so speaking
they
to,
should.
you're talking about the community. That's a good segue here for how were you introduced to the community? How did you get into it?
Very initially, Bosnian Bill videos were what I fell in love with years ago. So I've been watching Bosnian Bill. He's kind of retired now, but
Yeah.
he started out being kind of the first big YouTube name that I got into watching. And that led me to my love for also watching some lockpicking lawyer because they started doing some coalition stuff with sparrows and each other. And they built that DD pick that I have
Yes.
one of now.
Yep.
Had to buy one because I'm a collector and I wanted to get into DD eventually.
Yep.
So I got one recently from my buddy Dean P. I haven't used it yet, but I'm glad to have it because if nothing else, I'm gonna start with it, and it's a great Sparrows collector's item and Lock Sport collector item because of the fact it was made, by LPL and Bosnian Bill
Yeah.
with Sparrows.
It,
So
it it's a
it's just kind of a
it's a good initial DD pick to start out with. I want to add to
yeah.
that
I
that
know it's limited.
if you're a tinkerer, get yourself some of those injector rods, or I think they're called injector rods. But anyways, which if you need it, I can give you the link for those. But
Yeah,
you
that'd be
can
great.
you can
I definitely know I need to modify it more in the
yeah, you
future.
you can form your own pick tips then to match whatever lock you're working on. And
Yeah.
if you're
I've
used,
also seen people. I'm sorry. I was just mentioning. I've also seen the little Turner adapters for tension that people put on the front, the little discs.
yes, and you can 3D print those. Yep.
Awesome.
I
Awesome.
have a video on those too. So
Excellent.
in
Excellent.
the 3D lock sport, or 3D printed lock sport series that I have.
Yeah. I don't have the money for one of those sweet RWBs just yet, but
No,
when I do have that kind of money,
they are nice though. I will say that.
they
So
are sweet, dude. Once
yes,
I
they are.
have the money, I will get one.
It's worth every penny.
I can tell. I've seen Lady Locks and some other people using it recently, and I was like, man, that thing looks nice.
It is.
So
It's beautiful. So
I can tell that it's definitely well thought out and well made.
so you were talking about getting into the community. So watching the videos, how did that transition into like Reddit, Facebook,
Oh, well, for
Discord?
me, yes, for me, basically what happened was I was already carousing Reddit, so I found out Facebook had some groups. That led me to meeting Lady Locks and Greg Potter in Art of Lock Picking, getting myself a bundle of locks to practice with from Greg, which is a great way for anybody new to start. Um, and then I would say it led me eventually to finding the Lockjaw Challenge. The Night Watch Lockjaw Challenge came out, and I had just really started getting into the idea of recording because I was at Greenbelt. So the Night Watch pushed me into needing to do a live. So I used my Facebook Live to record my first Night Watch challenge. And then my YouTube was finally ready to go live. I didn't realize I was going to need to wait 24 hours and get 50 subs and all of that. So
Yeah,
I cheated and used Facebook Live and re-uploaded it to my YouTube the next day.
there you
So
go.
it's still on. It's still on there, but it took me forever to get that video uploaded across the platform. So now I use everything on YouTube or Restream. But the Night Watch video from Lockjaw kind of is what introduced me to the fun of doing a live lock sports session. And my channel, I decided after that to make a few shorts because people told me, hey, this is my friend Mr. Happy and Skip both advised me on these things. Um, and they both told me that shorts were kind of the better way to get new eyes. So I started making shorts and making a live session hangout or lock mail whenever somebody sent me a gift. And it's just kind of grown from there.
Okay. I want to circle back on something.
Sure.
Normally, so you're at green, you're looking to go to blue with the Packlock
Yes,
Pro,
sir.
but that's going to involve. Are you doing the blue belt CL?
I technically already would have blue belt from a decoding video I did on a
Okay.
dial lock.
Okay.
But I still am dedicated to immediately doing a CL anyway, so I'll probably belt up off of just the merit of that whenever I get this pack lock open. But I don't want anybody to think that I'm just gonna use that to pass over CLs. I'm very much into CLs. I got one from Lady Locks. It is a Doc Hogmaster, and I got to meet Hogmaster through having that. So I talked to him. He's a
Very
nice
cool.
guy too.
Very cool.
Very cool. And I actually just picked on that thing yesterday on a live for the first time ever. I have a friend who's wanting to send me a bundle of CLs.
Good.
Rock out with your lockout. I'll give
Good.
him a shout out real quick. Rockout's gonna send me some CLs, and I'd love to finish this Hogmaster, or if I can't, I want to see if there's a list, of course, and go through the right channels and send it to him if nobody else is on the list already. Because
Yeah.
I like to trade it, like to trade out with people. That's the fun part of lock sport is the mail
Yeah.
and the pen pal kind of aspect. So challenge locks, I want to build. Some of my friends right now, Wild Billiam and my buddy Cheese Grits NyQuil, he also is known as Western Massacre Lock Sport. They both have some really good recent videos of them building challenge pins. And so I've been watching that, and some of my friends, like Blue Scooby, have been preparing me for the idea of building some CLs. I'm really looking forward to that because I've always loved machining. I've worked at
Yeah.
machine shops before. I've rebuilt transmissions and carburetors, and it's got a very akin thing to me there. So I'm looking forward to building some. But I really love the community aspect of challenge locks, how they really don't belong to anyone but the original maker and then gift to the community. And we just pass them around and sign the little sheet and try and track them and
Yeah.
hopefully nothing nefarious falls on it. I've heard of people trying to sell them. If you're a
Yeah.
scumbag out if you're a scumbag out there selling private property challenge locks, I heard of somebody almost getting prison time for that recently
Yeah.
because it is mail fraud and dealing in
Yep.
stolen goods. You will get felonies. You will get in trouble. Don't do stupid things. It's uh, it's also morally bankrupt. I mean, it's for the
Yeah, it
community
is.
to enjoy.
You
It's for
know,
the community
you've
to
got
enjoy. You
those
know. So,
you've got those out there also that collect them and keep them. They don't pass them
yeah, don't
along.
be a
It's
hoarder,
like
man.
it's like
Don't be a
we
hoarder.
as creators, we don't create these so that you can hold on to it. We created them to be shared and experienced by
Exactly.
multiple people. You know,
Exactly. If you've picked it a couple times, or if you can't get it picked in a certain amount of time,
pass it
pass it
on.
on and let
Yep.
somebody else have it,
Exactly.
man.
Exactly. Okay.
Totally agree about that.
So you talked about being a mechanic on cars and motorcycles, but you had something else interesting that you shared with me about some of your training
Uh-huh.
with it
I
was
believe you're
Na-
referring to
n-
NASCAR Technical
yeah,
Institute.
yeah. Tell us about
Yes,
that a little
sir.
bit.
All right. Just to give the quick history background, my grandfather on both sides were mechanics. One was the one that raised me. He was not my grandfather, but raised me like it. He was a diesel mechanic for years, working on 18 wheelers. And my biological grandfather on that side was a GM mechanic and service manager for like 30 years. And then my grandfather on the other side, on my mom's side, he was a Marine and went into heavy machinery equipment operating and welding and was a motorcycle rider. So it's all in my blood, and I learned a lot of it hanging around them and tinkering. Um, and so when high school came around, we had a really good career vocational development center that I rode the bus to for the second half of the day in a lot of my years. And I would learn welding and auto tech and some other things there. Mr. Sally got me into auto tech a lot because it was what he knew I wanted to do. And so we aimed at getting my education chops up to where I could go to a nice tech school. NASCAR Tech came around and they had just opened a school in Mooresville, North Carolina. They're a branch of UTI, Universal Technical Institute, out of Texas. So they built a campus here in North Carolina. About the time I was in sophomore or junior year, they started. One of my friend's older brothers actually went to the first class and was an alumni there. He works for Ford these days. And I just saw it as being like the local Harvard of cars. So
Cool.
I thought it would be cool to do an advanced program. At the time, I was looking at either going to West Point Military Academy or going to stay and work on cars. I had a high school girlfriend and a lot of other reasons I wasn't trying to go to New York at the time. So I made the choice to stay in North Carolina and become a mechanic and follow in the footsteps of my grandfathers. So I went to NASCAR Tech in 2006, and it was an accelerated only cars program. I took basics there, working on half cars and model setups and learning everything from the ground up, part by part. We would do 3 week phase classes. It took me about a year to do the basic core classes and then NASCAR engines 1 and 2. They also showed me how to build roll cages and weld those things up. So I got a really good core knowledge of what it would be like to work in the auto industry there. And I'd be lying if I said that I didn't make my way into all my better jobs off of the name alone. When
Yeah.
they see NASCAR, when they see NASCAR Tech on my resume, it always sparks a conversation.
Yeah.
It's it's got me in the door, man. So that's what got me
Yep.
into some shops. I started at a wheel and tire shop in my hometown, and ever since, I have worked for Chevrolet, I have worked for Dodge, I have worked for Honda motorcycles, I have worked for Amco Transmissions, Discount Tire, Tire Kingdom, just a ton of different places. And then when I worked at this one in Florida when I first moved down there, it was a mom and pop place called Brake Smart. And I was there long enough that the owner ended up making me his lead technician. I got to run a lot of the business for him there as he was getting ready to retire. And I learned a lot of the business side from that. So I started doing parts management too. And I think I'm ready to branch out into my own garage
Very
very
cool.
soon.
Very cool.
I like to do mobile mechanic work too, but I'd really love to have a stationary garage. But
Yeah.
that's
Go
pretty much my career in a nutshell.
go for it, man. So I want to dive into some hobbies and interests because you and I we really spent a lot of time in the pre-interview talking. We have a
For
lot of
sure.
we have a lot of common interests, and that was awesome to be able to just talk through. But I want to
It made
start.
it easy to talk.
Yeah, I wanted to start with the whole guitar and music thing, because
Right on.
I've shared a lot with you about my interest and involvement with guitars and so forth. But I
For
want to
sure.
our
I know
audience.
you're rebuilding some pawn shop guitars. I love that kind of thing because I'm
Yep.
a fixer upper kind of guy.
Yep.
And playing with guitars is something I started when I was 8.
Yeah, I like making them look like new again.
Of
Um,
course.
but what has your interest and experience been with guitars and music?
All right. So with guitars and music, my family was always musically inclined. I grew up with an uncle that played guitar. My grandma and her sisters and brothers were in a church choir group their whole lives. as a singing group, so they played and sang together for the church when they were growing up. Of course, they were only allowed to do gospel type music. They weren't allowed to play around in the secular world of music, but I was raised in a classic rock household at my dad's. So I grew up listening to the Doors and Hendrix and all that good stuff. And that really sparked my interest in guitar. I think Steppenwolf Magic Carpet Ride initially hooked me, and watching Jimi Hendrix.
Yep.
And so I had a cousin, Tony Mancusi. He actually formally taught guitar, still does, I believe, to this day here in my hometown. But at any rate, my mother and father got me at first a little toy guitar, and when they saw I was serious about it, they finally, around the time I was 8 or 9, got me a Alvarez acoustic, brand new, just a little starter model
Yep.
for a youth guitar, but a full size.
Yep.
And I started taking lessons from my cousin Tony, and I probably only did that for like a year or so, but it gave me a good foundation. I enjoyed music class as a kid, but I didn't really learn well transferring, notation music to guitar, and that's what he was trying to teach me, and I never grasped it as well as I did once I rediscovered tab a few years later.
Yep.
Now, I always did well with rhythm, so I didn't struggle with tab. You have to have your own rhythm set for tab, but tab will show you where to put your fingers,
Yes.
and
It's
that is what I needed the most. So,
easier to read than reading the notes, and I'm not
absolutely,
downplaying
it
the.
applies.
Yeah.
It applies more directly because you see six strings laid out, you
Yep.
see the numbers that dictate where to put your fingers. It's pretty basic. So I think anybody who's interested can use tablature as a good foundation.
Yeah.
Anytime you see one of those old chord charts that everybody used to have, that's tab too. That's
Yep.
basically just tab
Yes, it is.
in a chart. So you're just looking at a chart of different ways to hold your fingers for a chord.
You
So
you can
I
find
learned with
you can find entire pieces of music, songs, whatever. They're all done in tab, and they'll show you the notes on there side by side. But you can
oh
also
yeah.
you can get the same thing for bass guitar too, which is really cool.
Yeah, it's come a long way. When I started, I was using basic music books like
Yep.
Hal Mel Bay and Hal Leonard type stuff.
Hal Leonard.
Just
Yep.
basic
Yep.
guitar primer stuff. I'm sure you know those.
Yep.
Um, if you're going to teach some guitar, you'll definitely need to know those.
Yep.
um, But it came with a CD to play along with, that type of thing. So I
Mm-hmm.
think I started out playing things like Red River Valley or whatever, and Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. You know, all the
Yep.
all the basics one starts out with.
Yep.
I think Love Me Tender was one of the basic firsts for me, and I think Amazing Grace was probably the second one I learned. So I started out with a little of both there, and as I learned tab, I moved into teaching myself things that I grew up listening to,
Yeah.
listening to nineties alternative rock, Nirvana and Soundgarden and Alice in Chains, Metallica stuff. That's all what I grew up listening to, and add to that some classic rock. And I just started hanging out with people and jamming around
Yeah.
and learning a lot more, having friends that play guitar, showing me things. And over the years, I just kept on and off playing. I take years away from it at times. At the moment, I haven't had a guitar in about 4 or 5 years, but I still stop in and play one here and there. And I'm gonna get another acoustic really soon and get back to jamming around. But
Yeah.
at one
That's a
at
nice.
one point, I did own. I'm sorry. Go
I was
ahead.
just gonna say that's a nice, comfortable guitar to have around where you can just pick it up and strum anytime, and you
Exactly.
don't
It's the
need an
best.
amp.
It's the best to learn on.
Yeah, I mean, I love the electric guitar. Don't get me wrong, and I'm playing with
Mm,
pedals now that I'm actually having a blast with.
yeah,
But
I
there's
love all of that, but you
yeah,
shouldn't start there. You need the
no,
hand
exactly.
strength. You need the hand strength and the basics first before you go
Yeah,
playing around with things you don't belong in yet. So
yeah.
that's more
An
advanced.
electric
That's
guitar.
the way I was.
Yeah, I was just gonna say an
So
electric guitar neck is much smaller and less wide than an acoustic. So if you can play and
yeah,
learn,
you don't want to.
yeah, you can
You don't
switch.
want to get used to it.
Yeah, you can transition over much more easily if you've learned an acoustic first.
Yeah, it's like the difference between driving a Mustang sports car or something first versus a family car. You need to start slow and big bodied and then work your way into speed.
Yeah. Well, speaking of speed, I wanted to make sure I would be remiss if I didn't get into talking about cars and racing.
Oh,
Um,
for sure.
so what's that been about for you?
Um, well, cars and racing, I think I grew up watching a lot of movies where I saw racing. Even Grease, I think I would give some credit, honestly. Just building up hot rods and drag racing them.
Yep.
I saw in movies, and I love the old 50s scene, American graffiti, that type of thing.
Yep.
And I got into classic cars like that. And so drag racing was one of my first loves, I would say. And NHRA, I got into. I haven't been to a race, but my dad and his friends used to go to Rockingham. They tell me it's like nothing else to be actually right there. And having been right beside enough NASCARs, I know that when you get above about 600 horsepower and double and triple that, it really does turn into a whole nother experience
Oh
being that
yeah.
close to it. So
Yeah. It's
I think,
scary.
go ahead.
It's
Yeah, for
scary.
sure. You need some ear protection, guys.
Oh yeah.
I didn't learn that until college, but I learned around being around big nice machines and motorcycles afterward that if you're going to be in dyno rooms, which are closed
Oh yeah.
situations
Yes.
with
Yes.
a huge engine cranking out that kind of horses, you're going
Exactly.
to want to put on some earmuffs like
Yep.
you're shooting a gun, guys. Otherwise, it will be in ringing your ears or
Yep.
make you deaf.
Definitely.
I highly,
Definitely.
highly recommend some ear protection. But other than that, it is a blast.
Yes, it is.
And I
Scary,
got into,
scary blast,
oh,
but
go ahead.
yes. When you get, I mean,
Yeah.
if you ever get up and you're doing, I think the fastest I've ever gone is about 165 miles per hour.
Yeah. In a,
it's
in a
scary.
car, that is hauling. In a car, that's hauling butt. I haven't
Oh
been much
yeah.
faster than that in a car. I've
No.
been faster than that on a bike. I've actually done 200 on a motorcycle in Florida, but it was during COVID and it was on a 1000cc motorcycle, a
Whew.
Cowie Ninja ZX10. So.
Wow.
Don't recommend it.
No.
I've only done it for a few seconds of my life. It was on a straight stretch of highway for
Yep.
miles, and it was literally a ghost town, guys. I mean, I would have never done it daily life, traffic, but this was during COVID. I was still
Mm-mm, yeah.
working. I was one of the people still going to work deep into the aftermath of all the horrors that went on in COVID.
Yeah.
So my wife and father were staying home. I was the only one leaving the house, working, getting groceries, and that type of thing.
Yeah.
And not because they weren't getting money or anything. I just mean they weren't leaving the house. They were in
Yeah.
lockdown.
Yep.
So I would use my helmet and my gloves because that keeps you protected from a lot of things. There's a mask on your helmet, and your gloves keep you from touching things. So I'd go everywhere in my motorcycle gear, and my motorcycle was a great way to get around because there was nobody on the road, man. So it was like a
Yeah.
dream.
Yeah. So, do you have any thank yous that you'd like to give to any other lock sporters, or are there some that you'd like to mention specifically?
Yeah, I've got a pretty decent list of people I'd like to thank
All
actually.
right.
So
Let's hear it.
try to run through it. I'll try to run through it and not take a terrible amount of time, but I don't want to miss anybody. So
No, you don't. Take your
let me
time.
give it my best shot here. Let me give it my best shot here. First of all, let me start with let's start with God like we always should. And
Yes.
I'd like to thank him for bringing me to all my friends that I've met and
Exactly.
making
Yes.
this a part of my journey in life. And of course,
Amen.
I'll thank my family and my wife, of course, because they put up with all the nonsense in my locks, and they don't fully understand it, and that's
Yep.
okay.
Yep.
They do support me, so that's nice.
What's the big deal? You got a lock open. I don't understand. Yep. I understand
Exactly. So thanks to mom and dad and sis and my wife Ash. She's really supportive. My mom's always a Tinker supporter. She's one of my biggest cheerleaders, as moms always are. But then I'd thank Bosnian Bill, of course, because he started me getting into this. I would go on to thank Sparrows because they got me on the tools, and Then I'd think Georgia Jim and Lady Locks and Sandman, Lockjaw, Moki. Those were all influences for me and places that started my journey. And then I would go on to a massive list of friends that have helped me along the way. I'd start with Chuck Soup because Chuck is my first subscriber, and he was with me before I even had videos up. He's a great guy. And I would thank Mr. Happy. He's a friend of mine. We talk a lot. He is a great guy, and he helps me with my production stuff. He tells me more light here and less light here and all that kind of stuff. So
Cool.
he's been instrumental. And then just some of my buddies that have either, donated some cool stuff to me or helped me with ideas. That would be like Dean P, Nick Matlack, Eric Goggin, Walt Cade, my friend Jaded Argyle and Seahorn from Reddit, Neil Williams, my friend over in the UK, my friend Q over in the UK, 44 Delta, Troy.
Hmm.
Troy was the first one to ever send me a lock, so I'd like to thank him. He's actually sending me some mini jimmies this week, so I gotta mention him.
Cool.
He's always blessing me with some cool lock sport gear, so
Very cool.
big thanks to him. I'd also go on to thank my buddy Labs. I think you're having him on next, actually, but he's a new lock sporter, and we've been hanging out a lot lately on my lives, so I'd like to thank Labs. Like I said, I think he's your next interview.
Boo
And
Man is the
then,
next interview. Is that him?
yeah, that's him.
Okay. Okay.
That is him. He goes by Boo Man. His channel is called Labs. That's
Yes, you're
that's
right.
the
You're right. Yep.
there
Yep.
we go. But
Yep.
yeah, Boo Man, that's my boy. He's good people, and he's gonna have a bright future in lock sport. Uh, he's been
Definitely.
hanging out with he's been hanging out with Broke Picks a lot too, and I've got to thank Broke and Rune Smith. Broken Rune was one of my first channels I got hooked on when I got back into lock sport, and it's come full circle. I've made friends with both of them. I
Yep.
got to co-host Broken Rune while Rune was on a vacation, and Broken Rune have been instrumental for me too. So I really want to thank those guys. Broke's the one who told me about you, so
Broke is
Broke is
an
a
yeah. He's an
great
awesome,
guy.
awesome guy. Enjoyed getting to meet him in person.
Yeah, he told me he re-interviewed you for your show,
He
so I gotta
did.
check that one.
He did. Yep.
Broke's a great community figure, guys. If you don't know Broke, you need to know Broke Picks.
Yes, definitely.
Now, I would go on to thank my friend Jeremy Hendricks. Jeremy is a good friend, family guy that I talk to on Facebook. We don't get to talk a lot because he's always supporting his family. He's a hardworking guy, but I really love our conversations, and I want to thank him. Wild Billiam and Cheese Grits, those are two of my buddies that started around the same time with YouTube channels. I really loved watching them. I know them both on my phone in personal day to day life. They're great guys. I don't name drop everybody just in case as far as their real names go, but
Yep.
those guys have been really great. Delbert, the Raking Raccoon, he is a good buddy of mine. He was on one of my lives. Got to thank Delbert. I think he's the biggest fan of Greyhound that I know. And I got to thank my man Skip Hambrook. Like I mentioned him earlier, and Skip has been like my Yoda. So I got to have Skip in here, guys. He's a great fellow. I talk to Skip almost every day, and I'm gonna see him when I go to Florida. He's a Florida boy too, so we're gonna get up and hang out in real life. And so are my friend Eric. He lives in Port St. Lucie, so I'm gonna try and unite the three of us at least for a lock sport hangout. See if I can't pull in Conky and some of the other Florida guys. But
Cool.
moving on, I would thank Greg Potter because he is the admin at Locksport, Art of Lock Picking on Facebook, and he is the guy I got my first bundle from of locks to play around with. So he was instrumental in getting my start going. I wouldn't have made it to Greenbelt so fast without his bundle, guys. So gotta thank Greg. He's a great guy. He'll hook you up. I try not to send too many people his way as I used to because I think I swamped him at one point. And I think my advertising skills might have got ahead of themselves a little on him. So I'm glad to find that many people care what I send them to do. But he got a little behind because his emails were shooting him over into spam. So he found like 2 weeks of backlogged people I'd sent him,
Oh
and
wow.
he had to get some catching up going on. So I've been slowing down the flow, but I gotta mention him, man. He really was instrumental for me, and we still talk. He's a
Mm,
great lock guy and a great friend. I would
okay.
go on to think Pacific Lock, Pack Lock. They're joined up with me and my dog pack guys. I'll talk about that in a second too. Um, and I would think Greyhound. Greyhound from Greyhound Picks has been a great friend to me. I love his lives. He's over in Dog Pack with me as well. I think Covert Instruments, just love their stuff too. A lot of people thought that because I was a Sparrows man that I wouldn't mess with them, but I love their tools and their brand ambassadors have opened their arms and hearts to me from day one, so I can't act like we're not friends or go against them. That's not my style.
Yeah.
I'm not divisive, guys. I'm not divisive. So while I am a Sparrows man, if Bosnian Bill and Lockpicking Lawyer can be best buddies, then me and Covert can get along just fine.
Yep.
And I would go on to thank some of my Reddit friends really quick. I got a list of them here. These are kind of my day one Reddit buddies. Blue Scooby Wagon, Sufficient Prompt, Lock Spaz, Middle Asparagus, which is my buddy Q I mentioned, Rev Chewy, Frigdom, Motorist, my friend Gerard, Twin Doppelganger, my buddy Neil I mentioned already, Neil W, Kimmy, I believe that's right. Kimmy 93. He's in North Carolina. He was one of my first buddies. Garrett Trailer of Locksport Click. He is also a music man. He here in North Carolina. So I met him early in my travels. He's a great guy too. I think you'd like him because he fixes up pianos and teaches music
Cool.
as well.
Awesome.
He does band instrument loaning and stuff. You and him would click really well.
Probably.
First ad 7465 is his name. He is a locksmith that I met in my travels on Reddit. I just want to mention him. And let's see, let me make sure that I've not missed anybody there. That should be everybody on that massive list of thank yous. But I do want to go down my dog pack list of affiliates really quick because my friend Eric, I just want to mention the dog pack really quick. We started a Discord, um, a group of our friends. He's the owner. He asked me recently, earlier, about a week or two ago or less. I mean, it's been overnight success with that. He started this dog pack Discord server. He's the owner. He asked me how to get about doing it. So I paired him up with a guy we all know as G Key Man.
Yep.
G Key Man run, G Key runs the Discord server of many people.
Yep.
He runs Broke server, the Broke
Yep.
University. He runs Lady Locks' server. That I think. I could be wrong about that, but I think he runs Dragon Lair some, or maybe he's just affiliated over there. But
G Key.
either way,
Yeah, he's another Michigander, by the way.
oh yeah, there's a ton of you guys up there, man. I always tell my friends I keep a Lock Sport address book, and I try to tell people to help network them who's close by.
Yep.
And I am telling you, you guys are in a mecca of Lock Sporters up there in the mitten.
Yep.
The Mitten State definitely has a lot of pickers. So I would say that my whole little clique of dog pack guys. Let me list them off for you, and then I'll tell you who all's hanging with us over there that just popped out of nowhere really quick. We've got a lot of companies, so let me just run through this quick as possible. We got me and G Key Man. My buddy Eric goes by Lockpicking Professor or Classic Stang. He's kind of started this whole thing forward. We got me and G Key Man paired up with him. Greyhound came aboard with us, so that's been pivotal. Pivotal. We call it the Dog Pack in honor of him. I would like to think because he's the big dog. He's got his own picks and stuff, and he's just a great guy. So I love having Greyhound with us.
Yep.
And my buddy Dean P that I mentioned, he's really into Shackleman Club stuff and like
Yep.
escape evasion, survival stuff. So
Yep.
his
Yep.
channel's a little different flavor, but that's why he's with us because I wanted to have a coalition of lock sport over there. So that's who we started with. And sorry, the sink's running over here. I can't do anything about that. Just give me a second.
No problem.
Um, but yeah, we got a whole bunch of new people and sponsor people hanging out at Dogpack now. It came together really fast, so let me list them off as I've got them listed a little bit here. I got Greyhound over there. We have Jimmy Longs with us. He is giving us our own place for him to be and hang out. We've
Cool.
got makers. We've got a makers corner for basically all big makers, small pick makers from all over the world, and even 3D print people or anybody lock sport involved. We try to give them their own red carpet treatment little nook, their own little space to do whatever in. And so we have Greyhound, we have Jimmy Longs. Miss Lady Locks has been kind enough to be part of our server as well. As I said, I'm not divisive, so I highly support hers and Brooks as well. Um, they're both over there hanging with us. We hang on their server, so it's not a us against them kind of thing, guys. We're really about
No.
community, and I
Yeah.
love that. Really love that. So
Just
we've got Lady Locks. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say different conversations on different servers, but everybody has fun.
Exactly. So we've also got 44 Delta over there recently.
Cool.
Um, I was asked to approach the UK pickers because they're all buddies with me. I love being an international channel, and I'm a late nighter, so I'm on their morning hours a lot. So I got a lot of friends there. So first, I went about asking Richard Jones, the Welsh picker, for permission to drop a link there. He was kind enough to let me do a one-time link since I asked nicely. And Richard came over and joined us. I was able to get Rob Lawn and some of the bigger pick makers
Very cool.
from that area. The UK has a ton of great pick makers.
Yes, they do.
Um, a lot of them I've invited, but I know we've got Rob Lawn on board and Rune Smith there as well. Um, we also have, let's see, we got Bare Bones as of a few days ago. They
Hmm.
just announced a new tool roll on there last night.
Cool. Very cool.
We got Southern Specialties. I believe his name is Aaron, if I'm not getting that wrong. Mr. Greyhound knows him from making his picks together with him. So
Cool.
we have him for Southern Specialties. We've got a Mexican pick maker known as Codec that I brought on because he makes some beautiful stuff and he needs more exposure.
Yeah.
So I got him over there. We got Nick's Picks from UK. We got Mr. Walt Cade. Walt Cade, I mentioned before. He's my friend on Facebook, but some of you may know him from the A&E Texas Storage Wars. He's the auctioneer guy on the TV, guys. So he makes a lot of 3D print stuff. He sent me some cool stuff I've been showing on my channel, and we gave him a little 3D print area because my Mace 1 and 2 3D card he made, he's got some handles for pretty much everything he makes,
Yep.
and he made me a cool desktop thing. Anyway, we've got this other guy who's building a alternative app right now for logging locks in. He was a little discouraged at LPU that his new idea was met with everybody saying, "Oh, we already have one," and I was like, "Well, maybe we could benefit from having another. Let's not kill the idea yet." So I
Yeah.
grabbed him up and told him to keep working on it over in my space, give him a space to do that and get some feedback. And I don't want it to rival LPU. I love LPU. I just want him to follow through on his dream and let's see what he comes up with.
Definitely.
And I've got broke picks listed here as well. We recently got Stu from C Stu Do.
Yep. Another
I'm hoping I
Michigander.
can. Yep, I'm hoping I can get him to do some Shackleman and Mitten Maid stuff with his friend
Yep.
NTD, Not Too Dead. That's still in the works and the talks, but Stu's over there with us. We got Red Wanderer, who is one of the very big experts that we've checked off on our expert list.
Yep.
People can qualify to be experts for advising people on our channel. Red Wanderer definitely qualifies, guys. He is a
Yes.
multi-dan black belt from LPU, and I am very,
Yep.
very blessed to have him aboard there with us.
That was a fun interview, by the way.
I've got to go check that one out. I didn't know you had a Red Wanderer
Yep.
interview. I've not been listening to enough of you. I've got to back that up. I'm gonna fix that today. Don't worry.
Okay, good.
But I'm glad to know you got a Red Wanderer interview. He's
Yeah.
definitely.
I'm pretty sure. Yep.
I'd like to hear that brain pick session for sure. And we got Georgia Jim over there too.
Yep.
Georgia Jim is he's number one on the list, guys, of LPU right
Yep.
now. He is a legend of lock sport.
Uh,
Uh,
Another good interview.
I've got to know him. Yeah, I've got to know him a little bit personally. He sent me my Sparrow's Escort, the one that he did black to white with, or white to black on video. And he sent me the Sparrow's Curved Turners, an A1100 to fix the one. He tried to help me fix one that I messed up, and he sent me one to replace it because I couldn't fix it. We're going to do
Gotcha.
a video on that later when I drill it out. But
Okay.
anyway, Georgia Jim sent me a lot of goodies, give me a lot of advice, and I try not to bother him much because he's a busy guy, but he is a great guy, and he joined us to give some advice over there too. We got the Packlock president, Greg Wall, over there. He actually popped in on me while I was failing to pick his lock the other night on a live. Enjoyable to have him in my chat though. So shout out to Greg Wall and Packlock. I love what they do with the community, and I'm very happy to have them with us over there. Um, I
you
think it's great that they do that 200K initiative. That's all I've got listed right now. We are still working on some other people, trying to grow it a
well,
little. Great Greyhound's talking to multi-pick. We'll see what we can get in the
l-
future, but that
let's get some of those people in here for an interview.
absolutely. I've been trying to tell Skip to get over here too. I
Yeah.
don't know. He's a little introverted. We'll see if we can get him to come out of his shell a little more.
Let me add them.
Skip would be a great interview. We'll see if we can crack that nut together.
If I,
But definitely been sending some people your way. I try to tell people all the time that I'm on this experience, and I want to bring more people to you. I'm really looking forward to Boo Man as well.
yep.
Uh, he jumped right on in there as soon as we were talking about it, and he's a go-getter, man. So
Good.
you're
Good.
gonna enjoy you're gonna enjoy talking to him as well. He's a real well-spoken guy. So he's also a Florida guy who moved up to closer to me. He's in Virginia, I believe, but he's born in Florida. So me and him pull for the University of Miami together in football sometimes. So he's a good guy, man. You won't hold that against us, I hope.
No.
But
So
that is my main list of people. I don't think I've missed anybody. If I
no,
have, I'm sorry, guys.
that's a pretty
I made a
exhaustive
recent
list.
Yeah, I made a recent friend I'll mention really quick too. Dean T, who is not Dean P. He just changed his name to avoid confusion. He is now known as Swamp Picker, but I'd just like to mention him. We've made good friends in the last few days, and he actually gifted me the domain. He does domain server names, and he got me
Okay.
the domain Mounta1nM1ck.com, which is MTNMICK.com. There's nothing there yet. Don't get too excited, but I am gonna build a website off of that hopefully.
Very
So
cool. Very cool.
that just happened, but just want to shout him out and say hey to him. He's a Florida guy too, so I'm trying to get all my Florida brethren in line for a big homecoming lock sport hangout event.
Very
And
cool. All right.
that's as many thank yous as I can squeeze into
that
today without making a Bible out of it.
that
So
was
I'm
a
sorry if I missed you
no,
guys. I love you all.
very complete list. All right. So, last question before we wrap up. What is your favorite thing about Locksport? You've said a lot of different things today. So, what is your most favorite thing about
That's an
Locksport?
easy answer. Easy answer. The community, hands
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Um, Picking locks was already something I was going to get into and enjoy, but the part that I didn't expect was how welcoming and warm and friendly everybody, and I mean literally
Yes.
everybody, in the whole community has been. And having those people be friendly and make real connections with me is something I haven't had in my personal life in many years. So it's nice not to just be bored and alone all the time
I feel
without
that.
just
Yep.
being
I
away from my wife has made me really not want to hermitize too much until I get back to her, and having some friends to talk to every day and get me through
yes.
the harder days and cheer me on because of some of my personal past struggles with homelessness and other issues. It's just been wonderful to meet this community and be a
Yes.
part of it.
Yep.
So I would just say yes, the community and just the outpouring of gratitude I would love to give to them and try to give back and forward as much as possible because people gift me things so much that I feel almost guilty about it sometimes. I'm not used to this level of generosity, guys.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
if I'm weird about it, I'm sorry. People trick me all the time into giving me the address so they can send me something that I try not to get. And
Yeah.
I really do want to thank you guys who have, though. You can stop exploding my mailbox any day if you like. The collection has grown massive. I am gonna be gifting things out in the spirit of lock sport. I keep all my gifts that are close, near, and dear to me, but all the locks that are just friendly pass arounds, I try to keep circulation and moving. So I also try to reinvest what money I don't spend in that on all that stuff into my channel and into giving it back to people and
Yeah.
passing it on to new people and trying to spoil my friends back for helping me out. So I look forward to trying to bless some more people that I know and that I don't know going forward because of how good this community's been to me.
Definitely. So, do you have a final message to our audience?
Yes, I guess final message I would just say that if you have no hobby in your life right now and you think that tinkering around with something would help you with that, I would definitely recommend Lock Sport.
Yeah.
At least give it a try because I find that beyond just the basic fun 3D puzzle aspect of it, it really does have a therapeuticness to it. It brings me almost to a meditative calm when I'm working deeply on a lock in the quiet silence of the night or in the early morning. And I think other people would find a good piece from that. It's really helped me through some hard recent times and kept my mind and hands occupied in a constructive way instead of not a good way. So I would definitely say,
Yeah.
just get yourself a cheap set of tools. Don't go crazy. Just
Yep.
get yourself a couple picks, a couple of cheap locks from wherever, and see how you like it. And in that way, I would also recommend going on Reddit and Facebook or wherever is local to you. Find some people who are also doing it. It'll help you learn quicker, and you'll actually make some really positive friendships along the way that hopefully are going to last you forever, man. Because some
Yes.
of these guys I definitely don't want to lose touch with now. They're some
Exactly.
great people in the community.
Yeah.
That's all my lasting message would be is just get involved in the community and you will see that the goodness of people still exists out there. The lock sport community is full of them. Many of them are somewhat lonely or somewhat sad, or some of them are just rays of sunshine but want to meet
Hmm.
other people
Yep.
and talk about locks. So it's a good balance, and having that community aspect, it'll really bring you some fellowship and togetherness that if you're not finding that anywhere else, you should at least give this a try,
Yes.
and
Definitely.
you'll meet some great people. That's all I
Definitely.
would want to say to
Okay.
anybody who doesn't tinker around.
Well, I want to say that I had a blast getting to talk with you, especially going over our very common hobbies and interests. Um,
Oh, likewise,
that
a
was a
music
ton
and
of
car
fun.
guy is
Yeah.
always an
Yeah.
all-day talk for me.
And we didn't even get to talk about chess, but that's a whole nother thing. So,
Yep, we both love chess. You're right about that.
yeah. So,
I think a lot of the community does. It's just a puzzle and a mind thing for all of us.
yes.
So
Yep. It's a challenge.
I'm with you
You
there
know, I
for
want to
sure.
I want to thank you. This has been awesome. I've enjoyed this a lot. So,
I have as
um,
well, sir. Thank you for the opportunity.
with that, I'm going to reiterate some things you said. You know, by all means, if you have not been interviewed yet, why not? I mean, I do try to make it a fun experience. You get to share a bit about yourself and your journey and your other interests. And the real intent in these interviews is to share a little bit about ourselves, but also to really share some of the other things we have in common because we go beyond Locksport as a community. We have more than that to us, and I think that's worth understanding about one another. I mean, especially
Absolutely.
today in a world that seems to be
Hmm.
so divided. I think as a community, we are so um, together and so watchful for one another and giving to one another. Let's expand that. Use these things you learn about everybody else and broaden your friendships and your connections with other people. And with that,
Absolutely.
I'm gonna let that go at that. Please, if you haven't been interviewed, by all means, reach out to me and let's get something set up. So with that,
Do it, guys. You're
I'm
gonna
gonna
love it. I'm telling you.
yeah. So I'm gonna wrap this one up. If you are a subscriber, thank you. If you are not yet a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button, hit the notifications and all, and hit like on the video. And thank you for watching or listening.